Christchurch is a city of about 400,000 people. That's barely half the size of Winnipeg. 49 people were killed here yesterday. More than 40 people were injured, 2 critically, in attacks on 2 mosques. Now, police have arrested 3 people, but only 1 has been charged with murder. The police are still investigating whether the 2 others were involved. This all happened in the heart of Christchurch. The first attack at the Al Noor Mosque, soon after the smaller Linwood Mosque was hit. The main suspect was arrested close by. Police later raided his home 350 kilometers to the south in Dunedin.
So added to the horror of how many people were killed, how many people were injured, are the terrible details of what they all went through. Hate, mass murder, and terrorism all played out on social media. So we begin our coverage with what happened during the attack.
Prayers were set to begin within moments at the Al Noor Mosque.
Oh, there was around 1:45. I was stopped, but I heard the big sound, the gun.
They start shooting from the entrance, from the main gate. And first time I thought maybe it's a sound of a electric short circuit, maybe.
People ran, either out of panic or sheer survival instinct. Behind them, the killing continued. They knew they were being hunted.
Fighting was on and on, you know.
When I was getting close by to the mosque, later on, I saw that there's, I think, 10 to 12 years young girl. She was just like a date on the road.
Some victims were shot outside, and strangers leapt in to help, having no idea how bad it was about to be.
The guy I was compressing, he was trying to ring his wife, and I managed to get it, and I answered the phone, and I said to her, "Your husband's been shot outside the mosque." I said, "And don't come here to Deans Ave, you won't get through, but please go to the hospital, wait for him." And then I kept talking to him and telling him that she was at the hospital waiting and he wasn't to give up.
More than 40 people were killed at the Al Noor Mosque. Then, soon after, 7 people were killed at the smaller Linwood Mosque, about a 10-minute drive away.
Everybody was crying and I saw bloods everywhere. I could see dead bodies getting shot multiple times.
Grotesquely, this violence was packaged with propaganda. The gunman identified himself as a self-described fascist. He posted an anti-Muslim manifesto online, along with links to what would be a 17-minute live broadcast of the attack over Facebook from some kind of body or helmet camera. The chief suspect arrested within hours. He appeared in court today on murder charges. But in New Zealand now, the sound and devastation of that slaughter still haunts. The Prime Minister advised people to stay indoors, to report anything suspicious.
While the nation grapples with a form of grief and anger that we have not experienced before, we are seeking answers.
All communities wrenched like this ask how it could happen to them, but not all go so quickly to the question of guns.
I can tell you one thing right now. Our gun laws will change.
And she's going after how to cope with far-right terrorism and its sickening spread on social media. The first funerals for victims are scheduled to begin tomorrow.
From eyewitnesses, some common themes are starting to emerge. Firstly, and perhaps you'd expect this, disbelief that something like this could happen in one of the safest, most peaceful corners of the world. Saeed Ahmed was at the Linwood Mosque, one of the smaller mosques. He spoke with Carol Off, the host of CBC's As It Happens, and tonight he's our witness.
I was in the first row and I heard the gunshots. I heard 3-4 shots and people falling down, and everybody started to take cover. I lay down and he was shooting indiscriminately. One of my friends was shot in his head and he died immediately, and the other was bleeding and he was screaming for ambulance and help. So I went out to call the ambulance of police. Just then the police came and they didn't let me in. For 3-4 hours I couldn't comprehend what was happening around me, and you know, seeing that friend like dying right in behind, right next to you, and helpless, like old people. Who can do this? Like even the most toughest, stone-hearted can. I mean, somebody screaming, pleading, women in front of you. I mean, this is really, I mean, just can't comprehend what just such a beautiful country. It's such a beautiful place. People are so nice here. I mean, this was extremely alien to New Zealand. Like, this hatred shouldn't have place in this world. To spread the message and create the environment of peace.
Slowly, we are starting to learn some of the names of the 49 people who were killed in these attacks. Let's look at Haji Daoud Nabi. He was 71 years old. Now, he and his family fled Afghanistan in the 1980s. His son today told reporters that Nabi was dedicated to helping refugees settle here in New Zealand. Now, over the next few days, of course, there will be many more names, many more stories of those killed in the mosque, those killed trying to help others, those who managed to get away, those who have lost so much. And of course, we will continue to follow many of the angles that are unfolding here in a very sad, very quiet New Zealand.